So it has been confirmed that God of War 2018 is coming to PC via Steam on January the 14th. Now, this was already leaked some time ago, but I guess some people speculated it as just a rumor. But we already know that Sony has been, adamant about releasing some of their console exclusives to PC. Horizon Zero Dawn was the first one that they ported over to Steam, and then Days Gone was the second one that was released. And so God of War, which is considered by many to be one of the best games that came out last generation, of course I beg to differ, but I digress. This is one of their biggest games that came out last generation in terms of sales and in terms of critical reception. This is a big announcement. Now, I don't give a shit that God of War 2018 is coming to PC. I refuse to buy this game again. I bought it used the first time, and this time I'm just not going to waste my time or my money. But I will say this: I'm actually glad that this has been announced because essentially this is a stepping stone to some of the other console exclusives that were on the PlayStation 4. And there's plenty of other games that they could port over. So the main one, obviously, is Bloodborne. A lot of people love Bloodborne. I like Bloodborne. I don't love Bloodborne, but I like Bloodborne. Bloodborne was a good game. I had a few issues with it, but for the most part, it was pretty solid. This is a game that I would rebuy if they release it on Steam, which at this point, it wouldn't surprise me if they do. Another one is Spider-Man PS4, Spider-Man 2018. This is definitely a game that I would like to see released to PC. And, if we have studios like Naughty Dog and Sony Santa Monica, if we have their games that's being released on PC, then I don't see why Insomniac Games will be off the table. Especially given that Spider-Man PS4 was one of the best-selling games, one of the best-selling games on the platform. I believe this particular game sold over 20 million copies, if I'm not mistaken. And so this is definitely another title that I would like to see re-released to PC. And another one is obviously the follow-up, Spider-Man Miles Morales. And the great thing about Miles Morales was that it was an improvement over the original in a number of different ways. The web slinging was a lot better. It was more fluid. It was faster than what was in the original game. The story for it was pretty decent. I enjoyed it on a narrative level. And the Miles Morales character, they really nailed that character to where, he felt different from Peter from the original game. So this is another one that I would like to see ported over at some point to PC. Another thing to keep in mind, though, is that we have some of these newer games that are coming out, which is exclusive for the time being to the PS5 and the PS4. God of War Ragnarok, which is being released on console. This game will more than likely also be on PC at some point, probably within 5 years or even less than that from the console release. And I think Sony would do themselves a favor by releasing this even sooner to PC. That way it would be much more simple for them to increase their profit margin. And of course another one is Horizon Forbidden West, which is also being released early next year on both PS4 and PS5. So at the end of the day, console exclusivity is really something that's going out the door. Only Nintendo at this point will stick to the old tradition of not allowing their console exclusives to be released to other platforms. And realistically, that's not really a good thing because, what's going to end up happening to those games over time is that they're going to be forgotten and left behind. And anyone who wants to experience them, they're going to have to either buy an old system, which is going to become more difficult because, once the next console is released, they discontinue the previous iteration to where you can no longer buy them. Either that or they're going to have to pirate those titles through emulation. So in the future, if you want to play a game like Zelda Breath of the Wild and you don't have a Nintendo Switch and they discontinue the Switch, you're either going to have to, pirate it, through emulation or somehow get your hands on an older unit. And that kind of archaic business tradition in the gaming industry is just anti-consumer. It's a good thing that Sony is moving in this direction to where they're starting to embrace PC and PC gamers. So it's really a win-win. That's why I'm not upset about this, even though I'm not a fan of the game. I support the fact that we have more games that are going to be released to PC that were previously console exclusives. All Sony needs to do at this point is release Bloodborne and Spider-Man to PC, and after that they really don't need to port anything else over. Although there are some other games that they could do, such as Until Dawn, for example. Persona 5 is another one that somehow never got ported over, which is strange because they released Strikers to PC, but not the original game. So it's a wait and see as far as what they're going to do next for these console exclusive ports. But I'm in full support of this business strategy by Sony. It's a win for them because they make more money off of older titles, and it's a win for the consumer. For the people out there that play on PC that don't want to invest in a PlayStation. They can still experience the best of what the PlayStation console has to offer on their platform of choice. And that's something that the industry should embrace. So I'm glad this is happening.